He would be like the porter or red cap, whatever, to help the nurses with their luggage when they came in or left for the summer. And it turned out there was at least one or two that had very heavy luggage. Well, they found out later that these nurses had dumbbells in there, and they would work out with these dumbbells. Y'all remember that story?
No, I've never heard that.
That was Shay.
Oh, Shay
was the
well,
porter.
Kent did. Kent stayed up there. They stayed in Stagger Inn, right over there, and then they all would help anybody that came up. If they needed luggage moving, they all did it. I don't know if Lassane did it. Did he do it?
See, that's how Bill
and Kit and all of them.
Bill Pace's father started a draying company here. You know what a draying company is?
Yeah, they carried
Just
goods.
haul things.
Yeah.
And then Bill, when his father died, Bill took it over. And then Fred and Paul and Jack and all of them got into it. But they used to haul coal and wood and trunks and whatever people needed.
Was it Bill's daddy that started that?
Yes,
William
Pace.
He was Ransom's brother.
I know.
Which ransom?
Ransom Taylor.
Taylor. Okay.
They lived.
I'm
getting good at
I'm
that.
beginning to. I want to know which one.
Right.
Was
They-
it the man
they
who was
lived-
busy at
Be
home,
clear now.
or the one?
They lived.
They called him Bud.
Charlene, you know where John Bell lived?
Yes.
That's where Bill Pace and Bell and them lived at one time.
Oh, really?
And he had a yoke of oxen that he used for the draying business.
Just some personal things about some of my uncles, I think would be of interest to some of the family. One of those was Uncle Kit. He had some adult beverage and one evening, and he came in and he was looking for milk to finish off the evening. You remember this story?
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe you could tell it, but better than I. But
Well, they stored mother's milk,
Oh no, Granddaddy didn't.
and he drank a whole cup of it.
Daddy was bad to get in trouble.
and what my mother said was that the head nurse the next morning, she went into the diet kitchen
To get it.
and the milk was gone,
Mm-hmm.
and she came running out of the diet kitchen. Dr. Smith, somebody's drank the mother's milk. And so it was a real to-do about trying to figure out
Who drank it?
what happened to
Mother's
mother's
milk.
milk.
Yeah.
I've got
How
another
old was
story about Daddy. A little boy caught his private parts in a zipper,
Yeah.
and they brought him from the camp and brought him up here to Papa's office, and Daddy was here visiting, and Daddy was doing a residency in urology. So Papa said, son, you just take this patient and look after him. So Daddy said he did. He took him, and he's had the nurse there, and he said, "Nurse, the scissors." And the little boy's eyes got real big, and he looked up at Daddy and he says, "Doc, save all you can." So he said that little boy had no idea he was just gonna cut the material away. But that's always been one of my favorite family stories.
Yeah. Save all you can.
Save all you can.
Another one, this was on Uncle Shay. And this is when the nurses were here. And so this was in the evening, and some of the nurses came running out of the cottage where they were, saying that they had seen a peeping Tom. Well, it turned out Uncle Shay had climbed up in a tree to get a better view, and so when the alarm went off, he went over to Papa and said, "Papa, I'll find the culprit." And it was Uncle Shay all along.
Well, he volunteered to be the.
Yes, he would find the culprit. So
He was also the one where he came in one night and he borrowed the car and everything, and because they had to get permission, and he came in and late, and he looked terrible. He was all dirty and everything, and he was rolling a tire, and they said, "Well, Shay, what happened? What you doing rolling that tire?" He said, "Well, this is the only thing worth saving." He wrecked the car. Oh, that was the only thing that was worth saving. Oh, and another time, the story about Stagger Inn, they had, the boys would collect these little liquor bottles, and they put them up in the window of Stagger Inn. And Nanette, who never went in there, and she was just horrified. And she went to Papa and she said, "Doctor," said, "I think we have problem with the silent drinker." And she was worried about him, but she always called
silent.
No, they weren't.
got a question
But,
for
she
you
always,
about some of the roads here.
Terrible.
217.
All right, the Mom said that the old Howard Gap Road, you would go over the Green River, and somewhere, or maybe it was a ford, but somewhere on the Green River they would go swimming.
Yeah.
There was a swimming hole somewhere around that area.
Where the bridge crosses the river. Down, you go by Pot Shoals power plant down to the river. And when you cross the river, if you lived on one side of the river, they called it the Blue Hole. If you lived on the other side of the river, they call it the Green Hole.
Okay.
And there's big body of water in the river there, a hole. And we would go down there to swim. And you know why it was called blue and green? It depended on which side of the river and the sun. Sun shine one way, it looked green. Shine from the other side, it looked blue. So they were still arguing when the road was abandoned, is it the Blue Hole or the Green Hole?
And in the evenings, from what I understand, Papa would take his boat on Lake Summit, and he would go down to the camps, and if they had their light turned on, he would pull in and see some of the campers that were sick. And if the light wasn't on, then he'd go on to other camps.
Mm-hmm.
Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, I've heard that.
I went.
He was a camp doctor.
Okay. And the camps back then, I guess, Mondamin and
They didn't
Monday.
pay.
Green Cove.
Green Cove.
Green Cove and Montana.
Yeah, Green Cove and Montana. But I can remember going on the boat and going down there.
Well, can y'all think of any other questions or comments?
I thought it was so interesting about running, the business of running the dining room and the maids. You know, they had the help came up from Converse and Walford, but it was just the logistics of getting everything done and bought. They would go to the curb market and buy fresh vegetables
And flowers.
and flowers. And Aunt Leanie she ran the dining hall. And there were several other people who did. I remember Henrietta did, and then, but as in one of these books is a ledger of what they paid. The Swift truck would come up to the hill, and they would buy bacon, and you would not believe they paid a lot of money for bacon back then. I mean, in comparison to other things, meat, that it was more expensive. And I just thought the list in there about what the things cost was fascinating.
Patty, see what you've been missing all these years not being over here? It's just such fun.
Don't be jumping on me.
No, we just want you to come over here and be here full time because it's just so much fun.
That's the truth.
And it's small enough that you can kind of get a grip on it. You know, you talk about a city and you've got, it's just too big to get all.
To comprehend it.
It is, but in Saluda, you get a little bit here and a little, and guess what? They go together. And a little bit more and a little bit more, and they go together. And it just, well,
Okay.
we do thank you for giving us your time.
I'm glad to do it.
Oh,
Wonderful.
this
I'm
was
glad you
so
could come.
special. Oh, yes. Ooh,
Yes,
we want
let's
these.
give Dr. Jones a big